David's got a feeling earthly bounds are retreating. He's going to get to heaven tonight. David's got a feeling earthly bounds are retreating. All he has to do is step into the light. Welcome to Nerds Gone Rogue, episode 108. My name is Matthew Keel at Infinite_Rewind on every social media platform you can imagine. Alongside me is Moose at Svhenn, Corey at Corey in HD, and our guest, the brew review man himself, I think. I don't know. His name is Jesse White, and he will tell you that only beers from me ain't really worth a damn. How are you, sir?
Good. You can find me at Lucky Beer Camper on Instagram. It's really the only one that matters.
Yeah. Check the brew review on YouTube. It's a good conversation from a bunch of good dudes.
Yep.
Matt's only saying that because he's been on the show. He really hates them all.
No, that's not true.
He's just being polite.
No. I mean, Jesse's a dickhead, yes. I don't hate him.
Dang. Brutal.
I mean, John's a lovable little scamp. Which one I'm talking about? Whatever. Kadelka's a good time. I like Justin Whitaker. All those guys are cool. What are you talking about?
Word.
Corm just makes me jealous with what beer he drinks. It's like, really. Like, if you want to get into a beer drinking dick measuring contest, do not do it with Corm.
He's got like an endless flow of...
It's ridiculous. It's impossible.
I don't even have the pocketbook to be able to do it.
I don't have the liver.
I think my liver could manage it. My wallet couldn't.
Okay. So, also, housekeeping notice, you might also know Moose from Nerds Gone Platinum. That goes up every Thursday. He, Jason, and Jeff talk every Tuesday. And Corey has recently had a child.
Bye-bye.
How's that going, Corey?
What, the kid?
I mean, is it still alive?
Yeah, she's breathing. She's pooping. So
cool.
Someone's doing something.
So Jesse, real quickly, gamer dad to now gamer dad. Any advice you can give him?
Just ignore the kids.
Really? The man who posts a selfie once every couple of days with his 7-year-old? Oh, we just having a good night. No, that doesn't hold water. Do better, Jesse. Otherwise, I have some question about all the beer you drink. No, I'm kidding.
No, just use that switch. It's nice and easy. You want to hold a baby? You can hold the baby and play it at the same time.
Well, my baby is large and it's hard to hold a Switch and the baby at the same time, especially in the way she wants to be held, because she's learned the specific way she wants to be held, and if she's not held that way, then she's gonna cry. Then when you hold her a certain way, she's like passed out in your arms. It's great. It's great. She sleeps a lot though. Like, I'm really surprised. Like today is like her 1 month birthday, I guess you would call it. And like the last, like, she sleeps through the night except for maybe like she wakes up twice because she's hungry, but like she'll go right back to sleep after she eats.
How old is she?
A month.
Wow, you're lucky sleeping through the night like that.
Yeah, well, Sana and I were talking. We were like, this one's going to be an angel, and our second one, if we ever have a second one, is going to be like the worst baby of all time.
That's
because this one's so Crossing our fingers, but we'll see. We'll
It
see.
looked like you just flipped all of us off. By the way, I just want to say that.
I mean, I could do that all day if you want.
I mean, I'll give you plenty of reasons. I will.
I mean, you are the reason.
It's true. It's true. Yeah,
Just don't have a boy next. If you have a boy next, it's really going to be a jerk.
Jeez. Man, should have had the boy first.
Now he's thinking once and done. Take those chances.
Didn't have
It's
a point. Snip. So video games, gentlemen. You guys playing any? Guest? What you playing?
Lately, I've been playing Hollow Knight. Still trying to work my way through that.
You like it?
I do like it. I'm getting my ass kicked a lot, but
Where you at?
I like it. So I just got through. What is it called? The City of Light, or is that what it called? Moose, do you remember?
I haven't played in a while. I don't.
It's the big city that was like the central city for all of them.
The City of Tears?
Yes, the City of Tears. That's what it is. Yes, I just finished that section, and I'm on to the next. I'm actually fighting the boss there right now.
Which one is that?
It's one that can it floats around. It can warp around. It pounds down. It shoots things at you.
That like magic guy or whatever.
Yeah, I fought him probably 30 times now.
Yeah, it took me a while to get past him. He was one of the humps for me in that game. Like, did you fight the Mantis Lords?
No, I promptly skipped those because they were optional.
That sounds terrifying, mostly because I just started Hollow Knight last night, and it's that
like the Mantis Lords were like, I think that is a phenomenal boss fight, but it is.
I heard it's one of the hardest ones in the game.
It's well, I think if you just mainline the game, it's one of the hardest. But if you try and go through everything, there are a bunch that are way harder. Which I mean, I've finished the game and I'm kind of waiting for a PS4 release, so that's where I will do everything else, everything that I missed, just because platinums are cool. But yeah, so I'm glad you're liking Hollow Knight.
I'm just mainlining it just because I'm already struggling with the bosses as it is. So, the other one, the girl one that you fight before,
Hornet,
with a lot. So yeah, Hornet.
That's a good fight too.
So you're not that far ahead of me because I just fought and beat her, and now I'm doing a little exploration. So, but like I said, I haven't played it in a while. So okay.
So I fought the Hornet, then I had to go through this swamp area. I can't remember what it's called, and then you hit the City of Tears, and that's where I'm at.
There is, just bear in mind, there is a way to upgrade your weapon. There is a merchant you find that is completely.
Yes, he did it. Yeah, I found him, and he did it.
Okay, so yeah,
he upgraded it once anyway. From my understanding, he can do it again. I think
he could do it another 2 times.
Yeah.
But yeah, you just have to find the materials, and it's worth seeking out as you go through the game.
Yeah, it made it noticeably easier.
So, I mean, you got through Ori, and I feel like that's a if I think that's if Super Meat Boy and Metroid were sort of merged, just because the platforming seems a bit it gets a bit difficult in Ori. Here, just the one thing I always had to do is I went as far as I could until I got just annoyed with dying, because it just happens. And then I would actually put the game down and try something else, or step away from it for the night, and then you come back with a little bit renewed focus.
Yeah, so I have been doing that also. I've been kind of chipping away at Stardew Valley also. Here and there, chipping away at that.
Are you liking it?
It's okay. It's not anything amazing, but I enjoy popping into it every once in a while and doing my farm and going hitting on the chicks.
Yeah.
Don't you have to bribe the girl with mayonnaise for a relationship or something? Isn't that one of the things in that game?
I mean, isn't that what everybody does?
Are you not sure? Are you sure you're not confusing that with real life?
I mean, anybody could bribe me with mayonnaise, and I'd be like, all right, let's go.
I mean, that's how I got Reba. I just handed her some mayonnaise.
Yeah. It must have been the Dukes.
That's the only way my wife got me. She made me a sandwich with mayonnaise.
God damn it.
Because we all know I'm the pretty one in this relationship, right? Right?
Yeah. You keep telling yourself that. Whatever you have to say to help you sleep at night.
In a house with no mirrors, you are the pretty one.
Yes.
Jesse,
Too bad all of our closet doors are doors with mirrors on them, so it's not this house.
Then you are proven wrong every day, my friend.
Why I get ready with the lights off.
Oh, God. Terrible. Jesse, are you playing anything else?
The only thing I've been very slowly chipping away at is since the Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion came to backwards compatibility, I've been chipping away at that every once in a while when I want to play something on my TV.
Have you never played that before?
Oh, no. Yeah, I've beat it twice.
Okay.
But it came to backwards compatibility, and I hadn't played it in a while, so I was kind of curious to see if it held up.
Yeah, does it?
Oh, it does.
Yeah.
Is it as good as Skyrim?
So it's not as modern as Skyrim, so it's not going to have some of the systems.
Or the quality of life.
Yeah. The combat in Skyrim is definitely better. Things like that. But when it comes to like world and building and things like that, I actually do like Oblivion more. But I like the systems, the upgrading, the combat, and things like that of Skyrim more. So I guess it really just depends on what you deem important.
Gotcha. I've never played either game, so I was just...
Well, why the hell not? Skyrim is on literally everything.
Shit.
Yeah.
You can play it on like an Alexa. So
I know I played the first hour of Skyrim 4 times. I'm like, I can't do it. Just can't.
Now, you're a huge Elder Scrolls guy, right?
oh yeah, it's one of my top 3
Like,
favorite.
what's your favorite one?
The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind.
Fucking right. This is why we get along. That's the
That's
best
on
one.
backwards. That's
It
on
is the
backwards
best
compatibility.
It is, and I have played that on backwards compatibility too.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, that one suffers even more, to be honest.
Yeah, no. Well, I mean that game was pretty good because like it was one of those. Its flaws kind of made it cool. Like when it was on.
Plus,
Well,
it
like
was,
playing.
What I
for
think-
the Xbox.
When
Oh,
that,
yeah, it was
that game
ridiculous.
first released, it was relative, like a revelation.
Yeah.
Changed the whole landscape. But now you go back and try to play it now, and the combat is based on like that D&D role,
Yeah.
on whether or not you get a hit and things like that, and that whole combat system just doesn't really fly in modern gaming, in my opinion. But the world, the characters, everything about Morrowind, the writing, I like everything about that game more than any other franchise, any other game in the franchise. It's just the gameplay. It's a struggle now.
Yeah, like I mean, I haven't played Morrowind since I first played it on Xbox, and I actually want to get a PC so I can play like the upgraded Morrowind that they've done. But like I played Oblivion, I beat Oblivion. I can't tell you a thing about Oblivion, but I remember huge.
Patrick
chunks
Stewart's in it.
Yeah, other than that, but like I remember huge chunks of Morrowind.
Yep.
Like and like I mean it's just such a cool world.
Oblivion kind of suffered from being in between 2 phenomenal games. I mean, you have Morrowind, which is when you talk to like the diehard Elder Scrolls series fans that are fans of the whole series, oftentimes Morrowind is the one that they say is their favorite, and it's sandwiched between the more modern one, which is probably, systems-wise, the best of the series.
Yeah.
And Oblivion just ends up sandwiched between the 2 of them, and it just isn't as memorable.
Mm-hmm. I think like Morrowind was I mean even for its time it was a relatively ugly world.
Yeah,
like there were beautiful. There were definitely parts of
lots of
beauty in that
browns.
game.
And
Yeah, but it was like, but then like Morrowind was like Technicolor, or no, Morrowind. Oblivion was like Technicolor.
yeah, it was
Like
wicked bright and shiny.
Everything. It was like you step out into Oblivion, it's like the Wizard of Oz.
Yeah,
like,
you almost go blind.
Jeez, what the? Yeah. And actually, I've not played Skyrim. I really need to do that at some point.
You haven't played Skyrim either?
I bought Skyrim day one on PS3, and I've never turned the thing on.
Well, I heard it was a disaster on PS3.
I mean, Bethesda games are disasters everywhere.
Which is ridiculous.
Which they fixed it on Xbox first because it was the bigger selling system.
Right.
Whatever. But let's go to Corey. Corey, you play anything?
I've been playing. I finally downloaded Hollow Knight. I've only played for like maybe 45 minutes, just kind of like roaming around the world. I want to get used to the world before I actually start like, fighting giant bosses or whatever. So I've just been kind of like jumping down holes, jumping up through like, platforms that you can obviously jump through, walking left at the beginning to find whatever those little, I don't know. I'm assuming it's going to be like your currency or whatever that you're using throughout the game. Those little like diamond shaped things that you pick up.
Yep.
Yeah. So
you're right. Yeah. Okay.
So like I've been walking through that, and I got to like the first kind of like town area where like the guy is standing under the lamp, and then there's a bench that says rest or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And so like I've just been kind of walking around. I like the art style. I like the way the game feels platforming wise and stuff. I just, I've been going to bed every night at like 9:00. So, this kid, man, she like, I'm tired because like, even though she sleeps well, when she wakes up, we still wake up, so it's not like a full night's sleep. So like, plus I get up at 5 a.m. for work every day anyway. So it's like, man, it's just, I'm not getting a lot of time to game, but like Hollow Knight I've been playing, Donkey Kong Tropical Freeze I've been making my way through. Still a really good platformer, by the way. If you're looking for a great 2D side scroller on Switch, it's worth it. So I've been making my way through that and Captain Toad and plugging away at Octopath Traveler. I finally got to my third party member, which I kind of started over last week. I don't know if I mentioned that last week or not, but I kind of started over to try because I wanted to get the story from all the characters instead of just like skipping stuff. And so I have the thief, the hunter, and the dancer now. So
I like the dancer story.
Yeah. That was the one I played in the very first demo when they released that first demo last year. I played through her story. I don't know if it's changed at all or not, but when I played it then, it was cool. So I'm like ready to finish her story up. So Octopath Traveler is a great game. It's like I knew I wanted to play it, but I didn't realize how much I was gonna like really fall in love with the mechanics and stuff of that game. And then honestly, the game I put the most time into the last week is Puyo Puyo Tetris. I always play for like 15 or 20 minutes before I go to bed, and Tetris is, I mean, I know I said this last week, but Tetris is like the closest thing to a perfect game you can get. And like, even just now when you guys were talking, I was playing a little bit on my 3DS, like that original Game Boy Tetris.
Supporting that bad behavior.
No, dude,
I'm messing with you, dude.
I got my original Game Boy Tetris on here, so I don't have to bust out the cartridge. You can't buy that anymore, so you can't buy Game Boy Tetris on 3DS anymore.
Nope.
So
that's true.
Yeah. So, but the minor tweaks that Puyo Puyo Tetris makes to Tetris as opposed to the Game Boy version, like pressing up on the D-pad to drop the piece right away, making the pieces drop faster so you can place it faster, like that changes a lot of things and just makes the game just that much better. But Yeah, that's kind of all I've been playing. I've tried to do some more of the Solstice of Heroes thing in Destiny 2, but I'm just gonna wait till the expansion comes out because none of this crap's gonna matter anyway at this point. So, but yeah, that's kind of all I've been playing. Trying to mess around with a bunch of different games.
Nice.
So, yeah.
Moose?
I'm waiting for Dead Cells because like 3 or 4 months ago, I pre-ordered the physical version for Switch, not realizing that it didn't come out on the same day as the digital version. And I'm like, I'm not going to double dip on a game like that. So, man.
It would be one of the only games I would double dip on.
Yeah, but that's different though because you would get it on PS4 and Switch, right?
Yeah, well, I have it on PS4, so I would get it on Switch. Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm not going to double dip on the same platform. Is what I meant.
Yeah.
So,
that's understandable. It's understandable. I wouldn't double dip on the same platform. I'd be like, I'll just wait for it. Play Hollow Knight. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So Hollow Knight's really good though. I can't wait to dive back into that.
Yeah, it's a good game. I need to get back to it, but craziness.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It's life.
Moose, what you playing?
Final Fantasy 15. I
love that
just I guess beat the Titan trials. So like chapter 3. And
Did you get to the first big boss? Is that where you're at?
I don't know what the first big boss is.
You would know it if you saw it. He's like a giant man that comes out of the ground.
Yeah, that's Titan. Yeah. I've done that. Yeah,
Okay.
He's holding the meteor up or whatever.
Yeah.
So is this your first time through it?
Yeah, I've never played Final Fantasy 15 before. And this is the first core Final Fantasy game I've played since 12, and I haven't played a lot of 12. Like, I barely played 12 and then moved on to other games. I don't even know what got me out of playing that, but I never played 13, never played 11. I did play some of Final Fantasy 14. Love the MMO. If I had more time, I'd play more of it, but anyway, so Final Fantasy 15, been playing that for my challenge games at least. Well, actually, I think I'm in chapter 5, so I'm at least a third of the way through. And then I've been playing.
Do you just have the regular edition, or do you have the full?
I have the deluxe edition, which included the season pass.
Okay.
So I probably will not play. I want to play the DLC, but I probably won't play it this year. Like, I'll probably mainline the game and then just try and beat it. Like, I'm trying to do like a couple quests here and a couple quests there for like money purposes and trying to level up my characters and progress pretty well through the game. So I'm just going to try and mainline it just to get the game out of the way. But I'm enjoying what I'm playing. I'm liking it so far. It's a great game. Combat's awesome. Kind of like Day and Night Cycle, but kind of hate it. So, you know, it's just, I like it because it adds a whole nother aspect to the game. But then you're like, gosh darn it, it's nighttime and I can't fast travel to where I gotta go, so I gotta wait till the morning. But anyways, been playing that. I've been playing a lot of Dead Cells. I've been streaming Dead Cells. I actually got a platinum plays coming up with Nathan McInerney. He joined us. He's in Fathers of the Grind group. So I was like, hey y'all, we're gonna do some videos. Who wants to join? And he was like, I will. And so he joined up, and I'm doing it where like I'll stream with people and I'll let them choose like my abilities. So like Dead Cells is kind of like Metroidvania where you get certain equipment, and then like as you go through the game, you'll find new equipment. You can replace equipment you have or just keep what you have. And then you get power-ups, which do 3 different trees. There's brutality, tactical, which is your turrets and traps, and then and grenades. And then you have survival, which is survivability, which is your health. But so I'll just like be like, hey, you know, you get to pick what I choose, what my power-ups and what my weapons are, you know, how I level, and then I'll just try and get through the game as far as I can go. So loving Dead Cells. It's a great game. I'm trying to get to my 3rd rune which will open up more of the game. So like it's like kind of built where you could do a lot of stuff and go on to different biomes, but you have to get the runes, the permanent runes that allow you to do stuff to access more areas of the beginning areas and move further into the game. And so that's what I'm trying to do. So just working through that. I don't think it's going to take me as long to beat that game as I thought it would. So I'm kind of happy about that. Been playing Octopath Traveler. Today I just got the Kick-Ass Axe by Alphen, who's the apothecary. Like there's an axe that you can steal from. It's like a 3% chance to steal. It took me like an hour of reloading the game and trying to steal this because you get like 5 steals and then your reputation with the town goes to crap. And instead of paying to get it like back to normal so I could try stealing his stuff again, I just reload the save and do it all over. So got the cool kick-ass axe for him.
You said it right, kick-axe. Yeah, no,
yeah.
it's fine.
But anyways, been playing Octopath, enjoying the heck out of that. It's a lot of fun. And that's pretty much all I've been playing. So tonight I'll be playing Death's Gambit. So I am going to start recording my playthroughs for Death's Gambit, and then we're going to be putting those up as I play through them, like 30 to 50-minute intervals, so people can watch me struggle through playing that game. It's going to be fun. Like
it's going to be 6 episodes of 50 minutes each where he's at one boss.
Yeah, exactly. So
by the end, he's like, I don't know, guys, I suck. What?
Right. So if it gets to be pretty bad, I might just be like, wait, to record again until I get moving through a part that I get stuck at. But it looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. The impressions look like I've watched a video. There was like an hour-and-a-half video of a dude playing through it, and the build that he was playing looks great. So I'm just excited to jump in and play through it. So. But it'll be a good time.
Have reviews started coming out yet?
I've been looking all day, but I haven't seen any. So I wonder if the embargo lifts at the time the game releases.
That's always annoying.
Yeah, I know it. I hate that too. But I mean, it's an indie game. So I was kind of basing it off this one guy's impressions of it, and like I said, he was playing through it. And even if it doesn't review well, I think I'll still enjoy it because it still looks really good. And it looks like I had a lot of fun. It's got the upgrade system that I'm looking forward to. It's got the types of classes that I like. So it'll be interesting to try and play through it. I'm sure it'll take me a long time to beat it. I wish it had co-op because it would be pretty awesome to have co-op like Dark Souls does. But I don't think it does. I think it's single player, which, it's whatever. But that's it. Matt, what have you been playing?
Well, I feel like I want to say not a whole lot. I've actually played some stuff. Last week, when you guys mentioned Salt and Sanctuary came out on the Switch, I bought it while we were still recording.
All the Dark Souls comparisons scared me away from that game.
That's fair. But
don't buy it, Jesse.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. Don't buy it. I feel like Hollow Knight is a good sweet spot for 2D Dark Souls. Salt and Sanctuary is punishing. It's just not that. I don't think it's as punishing, but I also think that it is not as accessible.
No, I definitely don't feel it's as accessible as Hollow Knight. I agree with you on that.
I will say this, like I'm not like I backed away from that on PS4 shortly after I started. It was still one of my favorite games the year it came out, but like it got to the point where it's like time was becoming a thing, and I just didn't have the focus for it. So I knew I had to move on, but I could have played that game for hours, tens and hundreds of hours if needed. And having it on the go has been a very, very nice thing. Mm-hmm. I really like it. I'm digging into it more, and I've actually gotten a lot farther. I've got like 4 to 5 times farther in that game in only a week than I did my entire time with it on PS4. And that's just because I realized I'm just going to try strength character. Like I tried to do I tried to do a casting character my first time out. Bad fucking idea. The game is not balanced very well for casters, and I think it suffers like what most RPGs do. If you're going to be a caster, you either have to spend a lot of time at the beginning grinding levels, which is unfair, or you just never get a leg up in combat. Like the original Dark Souls, it is damn near impossible to become a really great caster in that game because every spell is so limited to the point where it's a struggle. And if you want to focus all of your stuff into magic, you'll get killed a lot because a lot of the time you don't have enough time to cast a spell before something kills you.
Yeah.
And Salt and Sanctuary playing straight strength, it's been a good time. It's been a lot of fun. It's
Did you
not
go paladin or knight.
Paladin.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Paladin's a good time. I got a nice big old morning star that's like twice the size of my character. Looks like it looks like Smog's hammer, and I wreck fools with it. It's good. But no, that game has such a cool look to it. It has a cool style, and I still think it is one of the better one of those. Like one of the better, you can call it Metroidvania, you can call it 2D Dark Souls. It is a really good one of those. I do feel like it's not as accessible for people who just like see that and go, oh, it's one of those, I'll play it. Because I think it'll turn off more than it will keep in.
If just speak to it for a second. If it had online co-op instead of just couch co-op, I'd recommend Jesse to pick it up. Because then you can at least play it with people like you can, Dark Souls 3 and like we did with Bloodborne, where you can still you're struggling through the game, but you're at least making progress because you get a little assist, you know.
Right.
But like it is couch co-op, and I think with the PlayStation 4, the only way you can play it with someone online is if you game share to play it, and you only can play it. Share play. You can only play like an hour at a time, I think, or something like that. And it's
and an hour is not enough.
Yeah, no, it's not.
It's not.
Yeah.
I mean, Scott Studios did something really, really cool, and I feel like online co-op is just the final step.
Yeah, hopefully their next game has it if they keep moving in this direction. Who knows if they'll bring back, what is it, Dishwasher Samurai, Dead Samurai? Yeah. Which they did. They did Charlie Murphy on the Xbox.
Murder,
thank you. So it'll be interesting to see like what... Charlie Murphy. But it'll be interesting to see what direction they go, or if they do like a whole new IP. But it would be nice to see them be able to put in some co-op, like online co-op, if it's going to be this style of game.
And then I was able to introduce Reba to a nice Metroidvania that is called Guacamelee. And she had fun. She thought it was a little bit of a more difficult barrier of entry than Adventure Pals, which is fair. But she seemed to pick it up, and she wants to keep playing. So we'll keep doing that, as well as like Unravel 2. Also, jumped back into Dark Souls with Dr. Blood Souls. We did a Platinum Plays with Moose.
Yeah, we're doing that was supposed to be like a 30-minute video, but then it just turned into us doing the DLC. So now we're gonna do a series. Yeah, so it might just be Platinum Plays Dark Souls DLC series, because it was like 50 minutes, and I'm like, it's gonna be a while till we get through the DLC. So I think we're just gonna keep recording, like every time the three of us can get on and play. Yeah. So it might be a while before that comes out.
Like there are 4 bosses in the DLC, and we did 2 of them. From where we ended up, there's another boss right there, but you're just not really ready for it. And then there's like the journey to the other one. Okay. And if I remember correctly, we'll do the journey to the other one and then do that one there. Unless Ahmed says, "No, we're ready," because he does know best. even when he's trying to troll us. But yeah, no, that was fun. After we did that, Ahmed and I took down Seek the Scaleless.
Nice.
And then I had to go to bed. But I'm about to beat that game, and I'm getting ever so close to my 100th platinum trophy. So yeah.
Yeah.
Other than that, yeah, I haven't played anything else. I did Binding of Isaac and Enter the Gungeon, but not enough to really be significant. And I'm pissed I haven't got to play a game like Dead Cells. I really want to play Dead Cells, and work just got the better of me this week. So hopefully this coming week I'll have a chance to do that, as well as what comes out tonight at midnight, and that's Death's Gambit. I'm excited for it.
I don't even know what Death's Gambit is, to be honest with you.
Not even fucking concern is what it is.
Whoa! Whoa!
Such hostility.
Whoa!
Ah.
I like it how you timed that perfectly. He was just about to speak, and then you're just like,
I know.
Well done, Corey.
Oh, man.
So
I can't unmute him either. He has to unmute himself.
Yeah, he has to do it himself. He's just over there talking now.
I know. It's fine.
And he's just gonna sit there. He's gonna,
and he can't go get another beer. He can't go get another beer either because he ran out.
Yeah. Checkmate.
You're welcome.
So what's good in the hood, guys? What are we gonna do now?
I mean, we have questions. Did you see the questions in the group?
I did not.
Oh my gosh, man, you're the
He's
worst.
worthless.
I had to eat dinner when I got off work, and I hung out with my fiance. What do you want? Give me
All right, that's valid.
It's
but I do see Deshaun in the chat. Nice to see you, sir. Hi,
I say we
how are you?
talk about the questions. We can go over them real quick.
Yeah, let's do it.
I think Jesse can answer a bunch of these, especially since he yes. I mean the second one he's got So I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna read the first question.
Okay.
Sam Hall, how do you feel about 2018's game so far? Do you think the fall games will change your opinion of the year compared to last year? I'll go first. Personally, I don't have anything at the end of the year that I'm really pumped for except for Spider-Man. Well, and Red Dead Redemption. So I'm kind of lying, but like that's it. I don't play any
Liar!
I don't play any of the Black Ops. I'm not looking forward to Black Ops 4. Battlefield 5, I'm kind of like, maybe I'll get it. So I don't think it's going to tilt my comparison from this year to last year. Personally, this year, because I came out with a lot more indies, and I've played a lot more games this year than I did last year, I feel like this year is just better. Like Celeste came out early in the year, was awesome. Iconoclast, God of War came out, which was awesome. Chasm just came out, which is good. And whatchamacallit, Dead Cells just came out as well, which is phenomenal. So,
Did you say you think this year's better than last year?
Yeah,
yes.
no, I was thinking that too.
I
Okay.
couldn't disagree with that statement.
I mean, I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh no, you are totally wrong. But I think last year was super saturated with high level games of all kinds. And right now we're in the midst of a single month of high level games in a certain genre. And that particular genre, games like that come out every week on PC, but none of them get to the level that these have. I mean, none of them I would say I haven't played Death's Gambit yet or Dead Cells, but I think of the games of this type that have come out this month,
Matt froze.
Yep.
No.
Oh well. His opinion was boring anyway.
Yeah, just from what I played of this year over what I played last year, this year has been better for me gaming wise. And it's an opinion. It's not like it's not like a stated fucking fact that game, dollar to donuts, this year is better than last year. It's just my personal opinion. I'm having more fun playing the games I've played this year than I did playing the games I played last year.
And that's why I'm specifically open with saying I'm not going to say, "Oh, you're just wrong."
Right? No.
I mean, like last year. I mean, right out the gate, Horizon and Zelda did it for me, and then the
that's right.
second Shovel Knight DLC came out, and Spectre Knight almost right away. So that was pretty awesome. Plus, like, I don't know. For me, like Jesse, I know you
Persona
said Nintendo
5, Nier Automata, Hellboy.
Yeah. See, my
especially
problem is
Keep going, Jesse.
My problem is I didn't get to play as much Nier. I didn't touch Persona 5. Now, granted, I did gloss over Horizon, but I loved Horizon, and Horizon was awesome. But I loved God of War, and I don't know. I think a lot of the games, we had a jam-packed year last year, and I think we're still having a jam-packed year this year. It's insane. There's too many goddamn games.
It's just all coming out at the end now.
I felt like I've been in the middle of a gaming drought.
Like Octopath, I'm playing Octopath Traveler, which is awesome. Hollow Knight, But I agree with you. Sometimes you're in a drought, So are you getting Spider-Man? Jesse?
Yeah, I'm getting Spider-Man, Soul Calibur 6.
Are you a fighting fan? I didn't know you were a fighting. Or are you just a Soul Calibur fan?
I'm a fan of Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive. Because those are like the easy ones.
Okay. Okay.
So I like both those
Easy ones are easy to look at.
Oh, both. They're the ones that are a lot more approachable. Ones like Tekken and like Mortal Kombat and ones like that seem to be a little more technical. And the people that are really good at them are like just really, really good at them. Where Soul Calibur and Dead or Alive, even like people who are kind of mediocre, like I will be, can still do some damage sometimes.
He likes the bouncing boobies.
Nope, not coming to Dead or Alive 6. You didn't read that?
You what?
They're taking the jiggle physics out of Dead or Alive so they can focus on the fighting. And then they turn around and announce a Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 4 or whatever. So.
Yeah, they'll come out with that, and everything will be right as rain.
There'll be a physics patch you need to download.
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah.
Jesse, what do you think?
Last year too, like Pyre, which is one of the best indies I've played this whole generation.
I love how Jesse's taking words out of my mouth. This is great.
I know.
I would have never expected any of this. I'm happy now. What else? Wow. Okay. Moose went. Corey.
Yeah.
Did you go?
I mean, not.
Jesse agreeing with me is like confusing me. So
I mean, I think for me, last year was better, but that's just because like the games I want to play haven't they're just now starting to come out. Like, probably starting with Donkey Kong. I mean, we got Bayonetta 2 at the beginning of the year, but games I've played that game before. So like, if you're not really counting ports and stuff, like
I wasn't counting ports.
Yeah, so I mean, if you're not counting ports, I think the first game I really, really thoroughly enjoyed this year was Celeste, and then Lightfall, and then moving into like God of War. Even though I don't think God of War is as good as Horizon. I couldn't disagree with that more either. So I mean, I'm just like
opinions, yo.
I know.
Cool,
I know, and
motherfucker.
Like God of War. I don't know what it was about God of War. It just didn't get me like I wanted it to. But
I would pick
boy.
Rethink
your thoughts.
To me, like
the
kid was just annoying.
There was a section of the game where he was unbearable.
Yeah, Yeah,
when he figured out he was a god, he became a prick real fast.
Not like right at
I really wish I could have just kicked him off.
Like here, just Baldur, take him. Just do it.
Not like right at the beginning of the game, but a little bit after you that first scene with Freya, like that's when it really he starts turning it on. It's like, gosh, can I just like mute this kid? Like, but it's just an opinion. But Octopath Traveler I really like. Hollow Knight I'm really enjoying. I've really for some reason gotten into Fortnite a little bit too. So like those games are and I know Fortnite came out last year, but it's just I don't know. Last year the games were really hitting the way like every couple weeks there was like something that I was like, gotta get this. And this year it's only been like 3 or 4 times of the game that I'm just like, I have to get this right away,
A game that I played this year that actually released last year is a game called Blackwoods Crossing. Have any of you guys heard of that one?
Yeah, I've heard of it.
No,
that game was awesome. That's actually my most recent platinum. It's great.
Blackwood Crossing.
What is it? What kind of game is it?
It's pretty much a walking simulator.
Yeah, it's not.
Yeah.
I think it's like everybody's gone to the Rapture.
When Jesse says a game and platinum in the same sentence, it's gotta be a walking simulator. Yes, gonna throw it out there.
It's not untrue.
Anyways. Well, this looks pretty cool.
I have a couple of point-and-click ones.
Okay. All right. Yeah, man, there's nothing wrong with it. I'm just trying to shed some light.
Now,
I mean, I do only have 7 of them, so
that's more than my one.
Yeah, that's true. This year for me,
but I think your one is way stronger than his 7. But anyways, go ahead.
Oh
man.
yeah, probably.
This year for me has been it's been a very strong year, but the new games that have come out this year have been totally outweighed by ports, in my opinion. I mean, we got Burnout Paradise remastered, and that is probably one of the best games ever. Dark Souls got remastered.
Shadow of the Colossus, even
well, no, I love Shadow of the Colossus.
Okay, my apologies then.
I hate that platinum because I got glitched out of it.
You can still get it on 4.
Yeah, I know.
Call it a day.
I want my other one though that I'm 91% in. That's different show. But like we've got a ton of games that came out previously on modern consoles or Switch. Like as I just got done saying, I got a nice Return to Salt and Sanctuary, and
yeah,
I'm in love with that game. I feel like this year, while I was kind of expecting time with the games that I was looking forward to, I've actually not gotten time with Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
I've not gotten time with several games that came out this year that I originally wanted to. And Hollow Knight on Switch. That's like if I had to pick something, that is the best game I've played this year.
Isn't Hollow Knight a 2017 game?
It is. Actually? It is. But see, like I would say that it came out on PC. I don't have a PC I can play games on. So it's new to me this year. So I would say that like it's probably the best game I've played this year. I mean, I could say Burnout or Dark Souls 2, but I've played those prior, and I played them when they came out initially.
For me, as of today, God of War is my game of the year. As of today, that will change when I play Tomb Raider, though.
Yeah, I mean,
I would doubt it if it did for you.
Like Hollow Knight aside, like Celeste is mine, and God of War is second.
I think Tomb Raider might be my most anticipated game this year.
Dead Cells moves nice.
I would have to say Dead Cells is my game of the year. It's followed by God of War, but I feel Death's Gambit might do a good job of dethroning that, and Spidey. I'm looking forward to Spider-Man. So
Spider-Man looks really good.
I think
that game looks awesome.
In all honesty, I think
I was so excited for Code Vein, then it got pushed back.
Yeah,
God damn it!
Which is sad, but hey, we've got a lot to play this year.
This is true.
A lot. to touch on that we haven't. And so it'll be nice to see that move to next year. And polish. I love polish. You know, make the game better. It gives them a chance to keep working on it, and that's awesome. Take your time, guys. We've got plenty to play.
So we're gonna. Is it all right if we move on to Jameson's question, or Corey? Do you have anything to add, or no?
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Jameson Perez says, "You guys make me want to start a podcast about games and stuff. How did you go about starting, and what mics do you use? Are you worried about your sound quality at all? And what podcast service do you use as a host? Great work, guys." Well, thank you for the compliment. Really appreciate it. How did we start this? Well, Corey and I played Destiny. I fell asleep. And when I woke up,
we decided to do a podcast.
When I woke up, Joey went to bed, and he's like, "Hey, Matt, we should record a podcast." I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to go to bed." and here I am. But the mic I use is actually a Blue Snowball. It's very affordable, and I worry about sound quality because I spent 4 years as a radio DJ, but I also know what I have to work with. Like I can't sound. I don't have the ability to soundproof my space at the moment. Maybe one day, but hopefully, you know. I feel like we do what we do well, and that's basically we're just a bunch of buddies talking. And that's, if you want to start a podcast, go on. You want to come on this show? Come on. That's fine.
The sound quality doesn't sound bad though. I know it could be better. We ain't shitty, and I'm happy not being shitty.
Yeah.
So
I kind of like, for me, like I do kind of go through and try to clean up the audio as best as I can, just because, like, you know, I know Moose doesn't really use a microphone, but like whatever, like I'm
no, we're not
trying to compliment you here.
I know. I'm just messing.
I'm gonna fight you.
I know. He's gonna punch me in the face and then hug me when we meet for the first time.
Probably.
Yeah, that's understandable.
Yeah. Well.
And then I'll be like, "Tell him, Steve, Dave." Wait.
But like, you know, Moose's audio, like, I mean, it's honestly, I don't really like. I've got it so down to a science that it's just like I just hit a couple buttons and it cleans it up. But like, you know, if you reduce the background noise a little bit and like do a little bit of hum reduction and you know, amplify some like the bass, like Moose sounds better than most people who don't use a microphone, right? And so like, I mean, do I worry about sound quality? I'm like, I do, but you know, we can always sound better, but at the same time, it's like we're not like doing this professionally or anything. We're just a bunch of friends hanging out, talking about games and other stuff. So like, you know, when Moose decides to get a microphone, you know,
it'll be a godsend. Jesse, what about you guys with the brew review? Like, how did that start? Like, what is your setup?
Well, actually, Matt was in on that. I think it was actually John's initial idea.
Yeah, it was.
And he approached Matt and I.
Mm-hmm.
And we all just kind of agreed to do it and thought it'd be really fun to do. I mean, I just use my PS4 headset, so it's just a USB little connection, and it's all I use. It's all I use.
Don't let him fool you, listeners. For those of you on the video, yes, he is a telemarketer.
But he does in his off hours. How else is he gonna pay for all that beer?
That's right.
Cool.
But yeah, that's all I use. I have
someone on tech support who sounds a little slurry. Probably Jesse. Just saying.
I'd have to be drunk to do that job.
Exactly.
Oh God, I would too, man. I'd have to take a couple shots before I'd go in for that day.
Damn. Have the bottle at my desk.
Yeah. Sometimes we have beer Friday. I'm like, it's so tempting to have a third beer, but I'm like, I can't.
But yeah, I mean,
if you just if you've got some friends that you want to talk about stuff with, hang out, just start a podcast.
Yeah, just go in and you're gonna go in and have fun, man. Like it's just like, I mean, the reason why like me personally trying to get into podcasting is because like, hey, me and my friends talk about stuff anyway. Why don't we just record it and let people listen to us have dumb conversations, And like that's how the first group I was a part of started, and then this kind of evolved out of that. But like, it was just like we're just friends.
Moose and I are just dumber. Well, okay, I'm just dumber. Moose isn't. Moose is all right.
Okay. I'll take that. It's just don't have any expectations.
Yeah.
Like work at the little things. Cause like when I started Nerds Gone Platinum, like it was really weird because Corey, I saw the posts that Corey was doing it, and Captain Canada, Matt Phillips, messaged me, and he's like, Moose, why aren't you doing the Nerds Gone Platinum podcast? And I was like, hey, Corey, I was like, can I get in on that? And you were like, actually, I'm looking for people to take it over or whatever. He was just like, I'm looking, it's just an idea I have. And I was like, I'm going to take it and run with it. And
then Moose is like, I'm going to introduce you to Jason Marshall.
Yeah, exactly. I was like, I reached out to Jason before I said anything because I was like, I'm going to need a co-host. And he was like, yeah, he's like, I'll do it with you. And so like the two of us, like we have no expectations. We just go in. You just go in, talk about what you want to talk about, and then try and improve here or there. You know what I mean? Like try and get your intro down.
The worst thing you can do is like hover over your SoundCloud or your Podbean or whatever host you're using. We use Podbean because it's cheap and it's like $10 a month for unlimited storage and whatever. It's like the worst thing you can do is sit there and click refresh and watching it, because like the first podcast I did, like I would do that on SoundCloud, and I was like, why aren't the numbers going up or whatever? That's the worst thing you can do. And then what you don't want to do is like change your show because whatever you're doing isn't working, because your show is for someone, right? Like
and you'll find those people.
It doesn't matter how broad of a topic or how narrow. Like just don't have any expectations. Go in and have fun, and don't think about it. Just don't think about who's listening or what's happening. Like, of course, if you want people to listen, you're gonna have to like have somewhat of a personality and a character and whatever. Like,
also have to promote it.
I mean, we've all got our little things now. It's but that evolves over time, and the inside jokes evolve over time, and that's what makes your show better. Is just working on the little things, talking, and maybe don't take this from us, but like maybe having some notes in front of you about maybe what you want to talk about.
What does that word mean? What's a note?
I don't know.
Like direction, a little bit of drive. Like we had to do it with NGP because it's just like we go off the rails. So we, and then after you get to a certain point, we're almost at 60, if not beyond 60 right now. And
your last show that posted was 59.
Okay. I was going to say we're getting close. So shows you how much I pay attention, because I'm just like, I just come in, I do the show with my buddies, and we have a good time. And so
took it and ran with it, ladies and gentlemen.
But anyways,
like if you want like a structure type show, like if you want to take notes from us, I would suggest looking at Pow Block or Nerds Gone Platinum in terms of like a structured podcast. But if you just like this show, we just want it to be us hanging out, just doing whatever, and if you guys have questions for us, like now we'll answer them and probably talk about it for 30 seconds and then talk about something else because that's how the show goes. But
I mean, it took us till lately to like really pay attention to numbers. We got to a point where it was like, okay, certain people stop listening after a certain point, and we're like, well, that's like right around when the topic of the show starts. So I was like, okay, well, we need to trim out the news. We need to cut down a little bit on what we're gaming, like talking about what we're gaming, and get to the topic faster. And we've been able to retain the listeners longer.
Yeah, I mean that's what we did for Pow Block. Was like probably after like 30 or 40 episodes is when we had like a really, really good set of like numbers is saying, okay, this is when people are stopping listening, like what episodes worked and what episodes didn't. And then so like what I do to structure Pal Block, and Ed does the same thing for Arsenal X, which you should probably listen to that too, because he does a way better job of note taking and everything than we all do. Like our Nintendo show, it doesn't matter how many things happen that week. It's like 3 or 4 news stories, right? And then a topic of the show or questions is how we structure it. And then like what we've been playing at the beginning, like that usually gets us to about an hour to an hour and 15 minutes, unless our topic is big. You know, like last week, the Smash stuff was pretty big. So our show ran over to about an hour and 25 minutes. Right. So, but like,
yeah,
I think a lot of people hit that hour sweet spot, and that's good for a lot of people, you know? And then there's like the long form shows, like, you know, Matt and I are big fans of Giant Bomb and their long form style shows. And that's kind of like not what this is based off of, but we like that style show. So that's why the show's probably a little bit longer, I think, is because we enjoy having a longer show. So, but yeah.
Okay. So, Jesse, I know you have to drop.
Yep.
Thank you for stopping by.
No problem.
you,
Thanks for having me.
Follow him at Lucky Beer Camper on Instagram, Twitter as well, or no?
I have one, but I don't think I've ever tweeted, so probably no.
You should probably hook it up like Matt does and bring your Twitter
my
feed just
my
mirrors your
Instagram is my Twitter
feed.
So,
like, and then you could just
Lucky Beer Camper on Instagram. Check him on the Brew Review on YouTube. He, Corm, Martin, Kadelka, and Whitaker do a fine job of that show. And one day I will be back on it. I promise.
You'd be welcome anytime.
And you have a good night, sir. Sleep well. Tell the kids hello.
Definitely will.
Thanks for hanging out tonight.
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Love you, man.
Yep. Have a good one.
See ya.
All right.
Now the party really starts. I'm just kidding. Jesse's awesome. I wish he was on more.
Me too. So let's move on to Mohammed's question. Mohammed Hakim, what game do you think is going to get lost in the shuffle this fall?
Shadow of the Tomb Raider is going to get lost in the shuffle this fall.
What does it come out the same day as?
It comes out a week before Spider-Man, and it comes out the same week as Destiny, and a week after something big too. Like, I just think that game is just Tomb Raider has a
Destiny's just an expansion.
Wait, is it?
Yeah, but
it?
this is like a Taken King level expansion where it's going to grab a whole bunch of old players plus bring in a whole new crowd because they fixed a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
That's the thing about this.
I'll bet you that gets lost.
Destiny?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. I've been like, a lot of people are coming back for the Solstice of Heroes event because they want to get ready for Forsaken. Just from what I've noticed, at least from my friend group, which is, you know, between the two clans that I'm in, is like 50 or 60 people who weren't playing and are now playing. So, I don't know. I think Destiny has its audience, but, you know, I think with Spider-Man and Red Dead 2, you know, and
that's in October, isn't it? Red Dead 2.
Yeah, but I'm saying with like the swell of Nintendo games that are coming out, like, I think Tomb Raider is going to get lost in the shuffle again, and it sucks because I think that series is very underrated.
They should move it away from the freaking fall. They should know better. They should know better than
that. Game should come out in January.
Yeah,
like that first one came out. That first one came out in January and it sold like 7 or 8 million copies across the year because it came out in January, right?
Well, for that entire January, it was all anybody was talking about.
Right, yeah. And then, you know, that was the only game anybody was playing until DMC came out in February, like 3 or 4 weeks later, right? But people were still talking about Tomb Raider because nobody liked the DMC reboot. So, like, you know, and then they released Rise of the Tomb Raider, A, the same day as Fallout 4, B, as an Xbox One exclusive, where all of Xbox's marketing was behind Fallout.
Yeah, they killed that.
And
that game got killed.
And then it came out 3 months later on PC, and then a year later on PS4. And at that point, everybody was playing Uncharted 4 on PS4, and a bunch of other things had come out at that point that, you know, Tomb Raider got lost in the shuffle. And which sucks because Rise of the Tomb Raider is a fantastic game. Like, it's still in my top 5 this generation. I think Rise of the Tomb Raider. I think it's so good, and with the PS4 Pro and Xbox One X enhancements that they made to it, like running at a pure 60 frames a second, and the lighting that they added, like that game is awesome. And like Shadow of the Tomb Raider is one of my most anticipated games this year, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's talking about it.
Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah, it's
sad. I think any of the Gears game, aren't there like? I feel
there's
like
only one coming out this year. I think Tactics.
Gears 5 and Gears Tactics are next year.
Okay.
But Gears Tactics is PC only.
So what the fuck? They only have what, Forza coming out, and Crackdown. Crackdown's
February.
Gonna get lost. Oh, it's February.
Yeah, it's February 22nd, the same day as Days Gone, Anthem, and Metro.
Right. That's right. It's dumb. They're dumb. They're dumb for releasing the same day.
Yeah,
that's just
especially because Microsoft has it's the same thing as Tomb Raider. They have the marketing behind Anthem and Metro, which are both coming out the same day. Why would you release a first party game that day?
They're dumb. They're dumber than a box of rocks. Because here's like, if you're gonna look, and this is my thing, Crackdown 1 and Crackdown 2 weren't like the greatest games ever. Okay? And then
Crackdown 1 was fun as hell though.
I'm not saying it wasn't fun. I'm just saying like it's a solid like 7 or 8 and a great way to tear up, a city. And from what I saw, Crackdown, when I played a Crackdown 2, it was a little bit, it was like kind of a downgrade from 1. And so it's like, how are you're going to try and come out with a game which typically has like a 7, 7.5, maybe an 8 rating on the same day as these other games, and people are pumped for these other games, like Metro, which has been, all their games are great. It's just crazy. I agree with you. It's crazy for them. And Anthem, I don't think Anthem's going to launch that day though. I really think Anthem's going to get pushed.
Yeah, honestly, I think Anthem's going to get pushed too. Like not that like I think BioWare is worried that Anthem this is it for BioWare. I think
this is like Dead Man Walking for them.
Yeah, and it's not like Anthem like Anthem has to perform.
Yes.
And with the pressure from EA to get out before the fiscal year ends, like that game, if it's delayed out of the 22nd, they have 4 weeks to get that game done. Like, yeah, that's it. And it's already been delayed twice, so this is it for them. And EA,
was it? So it had 2 dates.
It was
or it had an announcement window, then had a date and got delayed.
It had an announcement window of early 2018, and then they came out and said we're pushing it 6 months to fall, and then they said February.
So wait, isn't the February date the first time they had a date?
Of a hard date, yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So in all actuality, and I personally, when I think of like delays, quote unquote delays, like windows are fine. You can come out and say my game's going to release in the fall of 2018. I don't look at it as like a serious delay if you're like, oh, well, it's coming out in February 22nd of 2019. Because that's the first time you announce a hard date. Yeah. So it's been the release window's been pushed, but it hasn't been delayed. If it's delayed from February, that's the first delay that it's seen. Because that's the first hard date that they have. That's all the marketing's going into it. This is when it's coming out. And the machine's going to ramp up as soon as July rolls around. Yeah. If not in Christmas, I could see it being in December. They're going to start, ramping up the marketing machine. But when it gets delayed from that 22nd, like that's the first delay. I personally feel.
Yeah. So I mean,
I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. But like, I'm pretty sure. I think maybe Fallout. Like, I know Fallout's huge, but I don't think it's going to get lost in the shuffle. But I think maybe a lot of people are going to go into thinking that that's a new proper Fallout game, and it's not. and I think a lot of people are going to be disappointed. If like, I mean, we know it's different because we kind of like somewhat stay up on all this stuff. But like, you know, Joe Schmo that goes in there and maybe buys like 3 or 4 games a year, and he's like, "Oh, I like Skyrim and Fallout 3." Like, "Oh, this is a new Fallout game," and he buys it, and realizes it's a survival game and not an RPG. Like,
it's online. Like, you have to be online.
So
isn't Doom Eternal launching in the fall?
That's next year.
Yeah, so next year. Okay, all right.
I'm gonna Switch. Woo!
Jesus. Like, that's cool, but like,
I'll buy it digitally on Xbox One.
They have to be pulling some. They're doing a ton of voodoo to get that stuff.
I'm gonna buy it on PS4,
right?
By the way, all you Xbox Game Pass people, Doom is on Xbox Game Pass starting this week, so it's a good deal. The game's great. You should play it.
It is great. I actually have no idea what'll get lost in the shuffle. I mean, Shadow of the Tomb Raider seems like a really solid candidate. I also feel like there's potential for Fallout to get lost, but I feel like there's way less potential for that than Shadow of the Tomb Raider. If Code Vein was still coming out, I'd think that would be the one. Just because, despite the vogueness of the Dark Souls series and Namco has like been on a pretty good streak publishing games. Like, can't really argue with them. I feel like that is the one that is just far enough off center to be the one of like, yeah, I'll wait for the sale on that one.
Well, I think From Software's game Sakura killed it. Like, people were like, "Oh, Code Vein." It's like from the company that does Dark Souls. Yeah, Dark Souls. But then like From Software came out and announced their game, and you're like, "No, I'll wait for that." So I agree with you. It's where people are going to be like, "Well," and that's also might be why they delayed it, because they were like, even though Sakura is coming out next year, like, they've delayed it to put some polish on it. And so it's just, it was one of those things where I think a lot of people were like, I could either get this or I could go with a From Software game. I'm going to do a From Software game. And so that's where I feel like that was a mistake on their part. But it looks cool. Like, the game looks badass.
Yeah.
So I'm excited about it.
Yeah, and I mean, same. But like, I remember when Code Vein was announced, people were saying, from the people who brought you Dark Souls, and a lot of people were saying, "Oh, it's Dark Souls with vampires," from the people that did Dark Souls. I'm like, no, it's not. It's the people who published Dark Souls. Now, all respect to Bandai Namco for publishing Dark Souls and you know, giving me several games that I am thoroughly addicted to for as long as I have the mental capacity. But the what is this? The God Eater team that's doing this? Yeah, like,
that seems right up their alley, though. Like, if you look at God Eater and the way that Code Vein plays, it looks like it's right up their alley. So,
God Eater, from what I know, because I've not played it, is like, it's like the 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon from Dark Souls, because a lot of people say people who like Dark Souls will like Monster Hunter, and God Eater is a lot like Monster Hunter. So there's definitely overlap in the fan base, maybe, or overlap in the ideas, but that doesn't mean it's From Software.
Yeah,
it's just not.
I like God Eater.
I'm not. Okay. So yeah. How long did you play? Did you play a lot of it, or?
I played like 5 to 10 hours. I have it on Vita. I think I also have 1 and 2 on PlayStation 4.
Okay.
So actually, I might just have 2 on PlayStation 4. because I don't think I brought it to Vita. But I haven't played 2 yet. But I enjoy 1. Like you just go out on your missions and try and hunt down the monsters and take them down and do your thing. And so I can see the comparison to Monster Hunter, but I can also see like Freedom Wars.
Yeah, that was another
similar to Freedom Wars. So if you played Freedom Wars, so that's why I think Code Vein is right up their alley. Like that's a game that I think they're going to be able to do really well and adopt some of the Dark Souls mechanics, or you're going to die a lot / mechanics. So I think they're going to be able to do a good job, and they're solid games. Like what I've played, I like God Eater. It's a great game. So
yeah.
So,
but if that game were coming out, I would put it right alongside Shadow of the Tomb Raider as something that is cool.
You know what? I agree with
I
Corey.
still think what
the Shadow. I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, maybe Battlefield 5, but then like they're going back to World War II or whatever, because they did World War I with Battlefield 1, and so now they're doing World War II with Battlefield 5, which is ridiculous because their numbering system is ridiculous.
Well, there's also an argument to be made that maybe those shooters particularly are not driving the zeitgeist anymore.
No, they're not sustainable in my
they're not going away, but like they're turning into like FIFA.
Well, they've hit their plateau, and to be honest, I think they're on a decline. Although Battlefield 1, because Battlefield is the lesser of the known shooters, not lesser known, but it's the lesser of popular of the two, because it's more team based. Like freaking Call of Duty is just about the kill count. That's all it is. People can try and dress it up in something else, but that's all it is. Anybody that plays Call of Duty is just in it for the kill count. They don't give a crap about helping their teammates or anything like that. And that's what Battlefield is. And Battlefield is like the underdog. It's it's like Xbox and PS4 right now. Like the only way it can go is up for it. So it's not on a downward trajectory like I feel Call of Duty is. Or maybe if they're not on a downhill trajectory, they're plateaued for right now. Like I don't feel Call of Duty 4 is going to do as many sales as the last Call of Duty did, which was World War I, right? Or World War II.
World War II.
World War II was the last one, and then so I don't feel it's going to do the same amount of sales, especially since they don't have a single player campaign. A lot of people played it for the single player campaign. It's just and now they're going to have a battle royale mode. I think
because they have to.
I think what's happening is
plus 3 weeks after Tomb Raider comes out is the Assassin's Creed game, which Odyssey. Yeah, and like a lot of people really loved Origins, including me last year. Like
not Alan.
With that positive upward swing of Assassin's Creed, right? Like I think a lot of people are interested in Odyssey because they're adding stuff, and I think people waiting for their big single player thing are going to start moving towards that. They're going to be playing their sports games in September. Whatever big meaty RPG they want to play, whether it's like Destiny or Dragon Quest or even Valkyria Chronicles 4, I guess. Like they're going to be playing that, and if they want a meaty single player experience, they're going to go with the game that's the sequel to the game that's gotten good reviews and sold 15 million copies, not the one that everybody forgot about.
Right. I feel like Blizzard is they're on autopilot. There's nothing they can do with the first person shooter. You know what I'm saying? Like it's all, unless they do drastic changes, and them throwing in a battle royale mode just goes to show that they don't have any new ideas.
Blizzard?
Or Activision. Okay. For their first person shooter. It's
like Overwatch is getting battle royale. What's happening?
I was like, Overwatch is still pretty popular.
Well, that's popular, but I don't know. I just think they're out of ideas. Not Blizzard, but Activision's out of ideas when it comes to COD. Overwatch, I mean, that's still going, which is great. But see, like the thing with Blizzard is they do a great job of building their games on gameplay and addictive games instead of like it having to be like blistering fast as far as like graphics wise, the best graphics, photorealistic. You look at Overwatch, and Overwatch is not. I mean, it's a pretty game. It looks great, but it's not super photorealistic like the COD games are. And Diablo 3. You know what I mean? That game and World of Warcraft.
Switch this fall.
Hopefully it is. If it comes to Switch, I'll buy it day one.
Yeah, I'll buy it again.
But it's just like you look at their games and their focus is gameplay, whereas in like Activision's is almost like photorealism, and it's like, well, that's not what's selling your games. The gameplay does, and a lot of your people are jumping ship, and you could see it with Battlefield 1. You get so many people from Call of Duty over to Battlefield 1 because you'd be yelling at people to like capture the objective, and all they're concerned about is their kill death ratio, you know? And it's like, yeah, you're
capture the objective. No, I gotta go. This guy's over here. I'm gonna go shoot him.
Yeah, he's running a by on a horse, so I want to shoot him and get the kill instead of help you capture this, which could win the game. So, anyways,
yeah.
I think Shadow is going to be the number one game that gets lost in the shuffle. I agree.
Yeah,
with you,
I also think maybe Darksiders and Hitman will get lost too. But
Darksiders was a good one to get. I mean, it's a good looking game, but yeah, it's a contender for getting lost in the shuffle.
I think like I'm excited for Darksiders, but you know that's going to be a game that's $30 in 2 months.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When does that come out?
November 20 something, like right around my birthday, November 20th.
So like Christmas, it'll probably drop $20.
Yeah.
It'll be part of the Christmas sale. It'll be part of the Christmas sale.
Yeah, plus those first two games are on sale all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like $5 and $6 all the time.
Yeah, the combo is like 20. But you can get both games. You can get the Fury collection. Yeah, for like $20 or $10 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm kind of worried about Hitman though, because they made such a not that they made a big deal about going independent, but like I don't know. Warner Brothers doesn't have anything this fall, so I think they're trying to position Hitman as like their big thing this fall. And man, I'm sorry, I think Hitman's going to be lost too. I think Hitman comes out. When does it even come out? Let's see. Hitman. Jeez, November 13th. The day before Fallout 76. And the same week as Pokemon.
You know what else is going to get lost?
What?
Just Cause 4.
Yeah, that's a good one. Because this comes out in December, right?
Yeah, it comes out the same week as Smash Brothers.
Yeah, but I think more people buy Just Cause 4 than Smash Brothers.
I don't know.
I think they're different. I think they're different audiences.
I'm saying collectively. Like that's the problem with Smash Brothers. When you look at all the platforms, I think it's going to sell more on, obviously the most on PC. Just Cause will sell the most on PC. But then including consoles, it will sell just as much, if not more, than Smash Brothers.
Well, see, I feel like on consoles, it will have a very weak opening because of its timing.
It'll be one of those games that has a tail because it'll go on sale a lot.
Yeah. I feel like immediately Smash Brothers will outsell that shit like crazy.
Yeah, but then over the long haul, it'll sell more. Yeah, right. So I could see what you're saying. Within that first, what do they call a launch window? 3 months?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So in the first 3 months, yes, Smash will sell more, but I feel over the long run, Just Cause 4 will sell more.
Okay, so
don't they? Was that special edition Smash Brothers Switch real? Or was that just a
one with the GameCube controller?
Yeah,
but it's only in Europe.
Okay, but it's real.
Yeah, but you can pre-order the adapter and a controller on Amazon right now. They're only $20 each if you really want to. So like the bundle's not really giving you a good deal because it's $100, but the adapter and the controller are $20 each, and the game is $60. So
that's 60.
You're actually getting a better deal if you buy them separately on Amazon if you pre-order them, because they don't like that Amazon discount doesn't apply to special editions. And you're getting Smash for $48.
Okay. So, what do you say we move on to our final question?
I think that sounds like a great idea, Matt.
Okay. And we can call it a night. I'm going to read it. Sean Malone says, with games as a service becoming more and more a thing, How do you think that will affect backwards compatibility, PS5, Xbox 2, whatever, Switch, and crossplay? I don't think it will. Well,
It's hard. It's so hard.
Tricky. That's
Especially
a
because,
it's tricky because I don't think we're at the point yet where they're going to be like, well, we'll just leave it on last gen. You know what I mean? Games as a service. Like, I think consoles have to get to a point where it's almost like PC, where you can update it as you go. You know what I mean? And the life cycle's really, really long.
Plus, you gotta look at games too, like Rainbow Six Siege. Like, they're in year 3 of their 10-year plan for this game.
Yeah.
Like, what's going to happen in 2 years when people make the transition to, the next boxes? Are they going to be able to, like, hey, I have Rainbow Six Siege on Xbox One. If I buy, Xbox Scarlet or whatever, can I just pay, like, can I play with my friends that have Xbox One still? But if I have a 60 frames a second frame rate, how is their 30 frames a second going to compare? Like, do I need to pay an upgrade fee to have the Scarlet version? Like, how does that all work?
Yeah. I think they would definitely have, because if it's a 10-year plan, they definitely have to be factoring in a new console generation. So they have to look at their customer base and say, well, we're telling you it's going to be a 10-year plan. Part of the plan is, oh, hey, this year, instead of getting new DLC and a new season pass, you just buy the new version on the next gen and it's discounted. So it's,
or maybe it's like an ultimate edition for $40.
Right.
Then you get everything, like even the next season pass.
You get everything you already have, and your progress carries.
Yeah,
progress carries over to the next console, and you just keep rolling on what you're playing. Yeah. I think that would be the best way for them to do it, because that's the only way. Because if I was I play Rainbow Six, but I haven't played it in like forever. But if I was a hardcore player, I would be upset if I just bought the season pass and the next year they're like, oh, well, you need the season pass. Oh, and by the way, we're moving to the next console generation, so you have to pay another $60 to move to the next console.
And none of your shit comes with you.
Right. I think if they want to make it, because I know they're making money off the agents, like selling the agents individually, or being like, hey, you could buy the whole season pass and get everything, and people are like, I love this game so much, I'm going to just buy the whole season pass. So that's the best option. I think they have to come to an agreement, with their bean counting people, their accountants, and say, listen, for us to keep our player base, we have got to meet them in the middle and say, okay, well, you know what? You're not going to get it for free, but we'll give it to you for 40% off, 50% off at the most. Like you were saying, Matt, where it's like, okay, well, you get the latest version of the game on the next console generation, but you also get next season as well. You get that current season. So you're buying it in the fall, you get that season and the new edition of the game. And everything carries over. That's the most important thing, I feel, is everything has to carry over. They have to future-proof their game in order for their fans to stick with it. They can't be like Destiny. Didn't Destiny 2 scrap everything and you had to start from scratch? And it's like, well, that fucking sucks. Like, I jumped into Destiny 2 just because Jason and Jeff were enjoying it, and that was one of my biggest regrets, was buying that game. That was just stupid of me. Really stupid.
I wonder, in a game like Destiny 2, like, I wonder if, they made such a clean break from Destiny 1 to Destiny 2. I wonder if they're just going to release a big expansion every year for the rest of the console generation, and then Destiny 2 will be backwards compatible. But they're gonna launch Destiny 3 as a platform. Like, you have to upgrade to Xbox One or Xbox 2 or PlayStation 5 to play Destiny 3. Like,
well, if they do that, their player base is going to disintegrate.
Oh, I know.
They did a simultaneous generation launch, like
they
generations with
they
one,
did,
right?
but that next year they did not release Rise of Iron on 360 or PS3.
Right.
Like, their big major expansion, they did not release on the last gen. So, I don't know, man. It's gonna.
And I think the same thing was done with Titanfall, wasn't it? Bluepoint did
Bluepoint did Titanfall on 360, which is the version I played, and it was awesome. Like it was a great port.
Yeah.
Or downgrade or whatever. It was awesome.
Well, I mean, that's why they did a great job with Shadow of the Colossus, and I can't wait to see what their next game is, which is their biggest, quote unquote, biggest undertaking, which is awesome. Yeah. I mean, good for them. Yeah. You know, you get noticed when you do work like that. I mean, what Motion Twin, who did Dead Cells, this is their first game they released. They've done a lot of supplemental developing as far as like helping with expansions or multiplayer or this or that. They've done like side projects to where it's not been a game of their own, and now they have a game of their own out there, and it's kicking ass.
Yeah, I mean, imagine that. Like they're like, I mean, right now I would put them up with like Yacht Club as like, hey, our game stands out above the rest as our first game. You know, Shovel Knight. Like you look at Shovel Knight, he's like the leader of the indies now. You know, he's in like 20 something different games now because everybody was like, hey, Shovel Knight's going to help us sell our games because this game sold 4 million units, right?
Yeah.
So I think Dead Cells is, you know, not to get too off topic, but I think that's one of the games that's going to stand out this generation as like the next Shovel Knight, you know?
I agree.
And it's really hard for indies to stand out, but when you get something like that, you know, you got like Limbo and Inside, you have Shovel Knight, you have Dead Cells, right? I mean, that's like the list. So, but anyways, back to like cross gen. I think games that are sequels, like, I mean, you look at something like Anthem. How is Anthem going to survive at the end of a console generation? That has to be something, because like if you're going to have a living game that has like a 5 to 6, 7 year plan, and you're coming out a year and a half,
I'll tell you what,
console generation,
that game better sell well in order for BioWare to survive this console generation.
Right.
Like,
right.
I mean, now getting back to Deshaun's question with how do you think the way he phrases it, with games as a service becoming more and more a thing, how do you think that will affect backwards compatibility? Overall, I don't think games as a service affects backwards compatibility.
No. I mean, if you upgrade to the box and you know your game is going to carry over until you can upgrade to that version, I mean,
but it only affects backwards compatibility for itself. That's was the end of my statement.
I think it's like it's a point where you're like, okay, so we play, you know, I play Rainbow Six. I buy the next console. Rainbow Six Siege is backwards compatible. And then they're like, oh yeah, well now here's a patch for $10, $15. Like, you know, it's like talking with Phillips about remasters. There were a lot of remasters this year on PS4 and Xbox from the previous gen where they were like, oh, here's 60 frames a second, or here's, you know, 45 locked. You can lock the frame rate instead of it being all over the place. Well, they charge like $60 for that game. And I mean, eventually it went on sale, and I got Last of Us packed in with my PS4 when I bought the Christmas bundle or the holiday bundle. But I think it'll get to a point where it's like you won't see a physical copy. Like first party games will just come out and be like, well, here's a patch for $10, $15.
Yeah, I mean, if I was Ubisoft and like the PS5 comes out, right, and you've been playing Rainbow Six religiously since it launched on PS4, right? It's backwards compatible, but I'm going to sell you an upgraded version digitally. Like if you have the digital version, I'm going to sell you a $20 quote. If I'm a marketing person, I'm going to say, this is Rainbow Six Generations Edition, and that's your upgrade to the next platform, right? And all your progress carries over, all your attachments, all your skins, all your friends, right? Like that's how from a marketing standpoint you should just sell it. You should that's going to replace remasters. It's just going to be called a Generations Edition, and you just upgrade to the current gen.
Because I mean, and usually, even if you have a physical copy, you have to download updates, patches, to be able to play with people online. Like if they're getting the DLC and you're not, there's still a patch that you have to download for you to be able to play with those people.
Right,
so
because
don't just roll it in. They can roll it into one of those, and it's like, you know, okay, well, if you want the sweet 60 frames per second at 4K, you can download this patch. If not, you just keep moving along at what you got.
Yeah.
You know?
And then it'll have like the options of like, hey, you know, PS4 players don't have the 60 frames a second. Do you want to opt into matchmaking with them, or vice versa? If you're still playing on PS4, like you don't want to be matchmaked with people that are going at 60 frames a second as opposed to 30. So those matchmaking options patched into both versions too.
They would have to be there. I agree with you.
Yeah. It's like the thing with Xbox where if you're playing Gears or Sea of Thieves or something, like they have the options in there to play with people with mouse and keyboard or not, you know?
Yeah. Because we'll move a little bit faster.
Yeah. So, I mean, those options will have to be implemented for sure, but
all I know is, oh, go ahead, Moose.
I was going to say the most important thing is like all the single player games will be backwards compatible.
Yeah.
Like that's the main thing. Whereas I feel the multiplayer games will be a sellable jump. You know what I mean? Like it'll be like, oh, you can stay where you are, or if you come with us, you know, it's a little bit of a buy-in, but you get all of this.
Plus, it's probably different between first and third party also because, you know, a lot of rumors are pointing to Halo Infinite being a cross-generational game, right? Mm-hmm. Between Xbox One and Scarlet. But they're going to be able to play together because Halo is going to run at a native 60 frames a second and have dynamic resolution scaling for Xbox One. So it'll scale between 900p and 4K, but it'll maintain that 60 frames a second. Whereas on Scarlet, it'll probably maintain between like 1080p or 440p and 4K and that 60 frames. So, I mean, you know, just from looking at Microsoft's standpoint, their games are already starting to figure out what's coming next. And them rebuilding the Master Chief Collection is also a thing. So,
yeah.
All I know is that backwards compatibility has to be more of a presence in the next console generation. I don't care if it's the last console generation or not.
It can't be one-sided. I know Sony made the buy-in to get the streaming service, but PlayStation Now is too expensive.
They've got to cut their losses at some point, or add a download feature or something.
Yeah, internet is too iffy to be trying to stream shit, and they need to cut that. And everything that if you can't go back to PS3, PS4, all PS4 games are backwards compatible with PS5. Yeah. Call it a day. And the people that will be upset about it, you can buy a PlayStation 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, quit your bitching. It'll be like $75 by that time. You know what I mean? So
yeah, and then you know, Sony not doing crossplay is becoming a comically annoying story.
You saw that Fallout story today, right?
Yeah, the Bethesda says basically issued an ultimatum: either allow it or we're not releasing on our platform. And you know what? I'm not against Bethesda doing this.
Yeah.
Because sending
a message.
Because
wait, was that for Fallout or Legends?
It was for multiplayer games in general.
Yeah.
I think it was for the card game.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's for
Legends because they want them to play all over the place. And I'm gonna be honest, nobody fucking cares.
Or the only place people want to play that is on their iPad or on their phone.
Right.
Exactly.
You already have the device to fucking play it on. I'm not gonna go buy it on my fucking PS4 to play it on my PS4. I'll play it on my phone on the go. But see,
Moose, that's you and not the rest of the public. And I feel like this is actually it's actually a pretty bold, but like it's definitely a symbolic statement of a major publisher saying, no, you need to think about this now. Like we're Epic has Fortnite, sure. We're Bethesda. That's Fallout. It's Elder Scrolls, Doom, Wolfenstein.
It's the multiplayer games.
But yes,
they say all of them.
But it doesn't matter. That's not really what I'm going for. Yes, they need to talk about crossplay for the multiplayer games, but you have to look at what's Epic's legacy versus Bethesda's.
Yeah.
I mean, we could talk about Gears of War all you want. We could talk
Tournament.
about Unreal Tournament that is becoming less and less relevant by the moment. We could talk about that one thing they put out. What was it? Infinity Blade? Oh yeah, everyone wants to play that on consoles. But
where's my Shadow Complex sequel?
Right. But you know, this is one of the bigger players saying, "Hey, if you're not going to talk to them, you're going to talk to us." And I feel like Bethesda has the cachet to do that. We could talk about if Ubisoft did it. I'll tell you right now, if Blizzard did it, Sony would have issued a statement right away, because people still play Overwatch on PS4. People still play Diablo on PS4. So they have to start looking at this. And and I disagree with certain companies' approach to this shit, like Microsoft and Nintendo, like just talking about, oh yeah, it's so easy for us to play. Like Nintendo needs to shut the fuck up, because they stepped into the online arena 15 years after after everybody else figured it out. So you know what? Slow your roll. But like, this is something that needs to be addressed. And I will say this is the first step of the next console generation, everybody playing nice. Like being able to play with one another. Like, I mean, and that is something that, I mean, I hope my prediction comes true there. And I think Bethesda, if this goes the way they want it to, they'll probably spearhead it. And, Fortnite's the biggest game in the world right now. We can acknowledge that, but like, we don't know how long that's going to last.
Yeah, I mean, look at PUBG last year. It was huge, and now nobody's talking about it. So, like, I mean,
they buried themselves. So
I get that, like, Fortnite's a free game and PUBG's like paid for or whatever, but like, I mean, I don't think Fortnite's going to have the legs of something like Minecraft or something like. Even something like Angry Birds, I think it's popular now because it's free, and it'll probably be popular for another year or whatever. But like, I don't know how long Fortnite's going to be popular. So, I
mean, at the rate that they respond to their community, that's what's keeping them.
But
the real difference between PUBG and Fortnite is the community response, because things happen in the Fortnite community pretty quickly. Whereas PUBG, like they're moving significantly slower. If they had moved at the same rate Fortnite is, Fortnite would not be a fucking thing.
I will agree with that statement. Yeah, you're right, because the developers aren't doing what it takes to update the game. A lot of the issues are still there. People are just finding Fortnite to be more enjoyable. They're liking the updates, the constant smoothing out of ironing out of wrinkles in the game.
I mean, and then it's just the array of new shit.
Yeah. Whereas PUBG's just like, here we still got the same bugs from day one, not fixing anything. Oh, hey, here's a season pass that basically gives you jack shit. You pay for it anyways. And like, I wanted to play PUBG. Like, I first heard about it and I was excited for it coming to consoles. And then it was like, oh, well, it's only, it's going to be on Xbox. It's Xbox exclusive. Oh, well, that's only for a little bit. And then, you have the back and forth of what's going on with that. And then I played Fortnite. It came out and
it was garbage.
It came out on the Xbox and it was garbage. And I'm not saying it's garbage now. I'm sure the patches have improved it. But you look at a game like Fortnite, and Fortnite was like launching without issue. Didn't have any.
Oh, don't fool yourself. PUBG is still like, it runs better, but it's not anywhere.
Ideal.
It's not. It's rough sometimes.
So it's just and like you look at Epic and they're it's just the pedigree of the developers. The developers behind PUBG are not like extremely well known. You know what I mean? So, and they haven't put out like quality titles like Epic has. And so Epic has come out and they're like, hey, everybody's liking that Battle Royale. We're going to do a Battle Royale of our own. And it just hit. Like, it just hit at the right time. and took off, and the game plays like it's a paid game, but it's for free.
Yeah.
You know, that's the thing. And that's the thing the developers of PUBG don't get. Like, Epic is making bank on it because they sell the skins, they sell all this. People are like, oh, it was a free game, but it plays like a paid game. But, oh, I'm not spending money on it. Oh, but I'll buy these skins. Oh, I really want this skin. I'll buy it. You know what I mean? That's where they're getting their money from. Because they're like, I'm playing it for free. I'll invest $20 in it and have fun with it, you know? So that's their problem. It's just ridiculous. I agree with you. I can echo your statement. I don't know how long Fortnite's going to last, but there's going to be a point in time where Sony's going to have to get over it and say, you know, because I believe their whole reasoning is we don't want, you know, an item that they pay, you know, money on our system for to use in a game can be used on the Xbox system. And it's like, well, get over that. Like, you made the money on your system already. So what if they can use it on the Xbox? You know, like you have almost 2 times the amount of install base. And that also might be why they're just like, whatever, we don't care. We have almost 80 million people playing on our console. You know, so what if you don't play Legends? They'll go play it on their phone. You know, now if it was something where it was all their games, where they said all of our games will not be on your system because we will just focus on all our efforts towards consoles that want to allow multiplayer and, you know, mods. Mods, the biggest thing for me seeing them pulling their single player games, because that was a huge thing with Fallout 4, and then eventually Sony allowed it, and Skyrim, they allowed it in Skyrim, but it was to a limited degree. But it's just like, you know, like, I think it's mainly because of their network. They have issues with the security of their network. That's their problem. And I don't think it's like, I don't think it's as strong as, it's definitely not as strong as Xbox Live. Definitely not. But it's not as weak as PlayStation 3's version was. But I feel like they're just like, the reason of them, people spending money on their console being able to use it on Xbox, and then also security. Like, they just think it's not going to be secure enough. Those are the only 2 reasons I can see them being like, this is why we don't want to do it. But they're eventually going to have to. I think they'd crumble. If Bethesda came out and said, we're not going to do it, then there's going to be so many developers and publishers out there that are going to be like, well, we're not putting our games out on your system either. You know? And I think that would be what would screw them for this console generation. Just like them coming out with a console and being like, oh, it's $700. And if you want to buy it, get a second job. When they were coming from the PS2 to the PS3 era, like, this is that mistake over again. And if I think they're on a precipice, and they can either step up over that onto the safe edge, or they can just let themselves fall right off. You know what I mean? So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Word.
So I think we answered that.
I think so. Sean was in the chat. I don't know if he's still there. I haven't seen anybody say anything, but
everybody's probably in bed.
Yeah, I know. It's like 11:30. I really want to play Death's Gambit.
20 minutes of Death's Gambit.
Is this going to be another thing where, like, 20 minutes from now in the chat, 3 hours to download?
No.
I'm going.
Oh, dude, that was bullshit last week. Oh man, that pissed me off.
It said 4 hours when I looked at like 5, 6 o'clock or whatever.
God, when I went down, I saw that. I'm like, mother. Are they kidding?
No, it was 7 o'clock. Yeah, it was 7 o'clock, and it said 5 hours. So I did the math in my head, and I'm like, yeah, that should be right. So yeah, it'll be midnight.
I just
freaking better be.
I was washing the dishes because, like, I just have this really weird nighttime routine now where, like, I'll make my lunch for tomorrow, clean the litter box, and wash the dishes, and then, you know, brush my teeth or whatever. But, like, then I plug my phone in before that, so I know it's plugged in, and I go back to my phone, and I lay in bed, and I pick up my phone. It's like, 3 hours. What the fuck? And I'm like, oh, jeez. Well,
not this time.
Not this time, my friend.
Doing a Binding of Isaac run and going to bed.
I'll be doing a Dark Cells run and then go to bed. That's what I would do.
Yeah. God, you know what? If I can't do that, I'm playing Dead Cells. That'll be my night.
There you go, buddy.
I know. I'm pretty sure Ahmed and I are playing Dark Souls tomorrow morning.
Nice.
Which I'm excited about. And what do you say? I think we can call this a show.
Say we call it a show.
Moose, where can we find you?
We've got more.
What?
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm tired.
Me too.
You can find me at Svhenn on Twitter, Instagram, PlayStation Network. You can also listen to me, Jason, and Jeff discuss the PlayStation platform over on Nerds Gone Platinum, which goes up every Thursday. We've just launched Platinum Plays. I believe the second episode goes up today or tomorrow, which is Jeff's episode, which is pretty funny. I forget what he played, but I heard it was a good time. Oh, it was Mega Man. It was him and Jason. Jason was commentating while he was playing Mega Man. And then, so if you want to chat with us, you can join our Facebook group, and you can also tweet us at ng_platinum. And or email us at nerdsgoneplatinum@gmail.com. So
Word.
that's that. Matt, where can we find you?
You can find me at infinite_rewind on every social media platform I choose to be on, which is Instagram and Twitter, PSN. And then I have a switch code, which will be in the description. You can also find me writing about music on ngrradio.com. I do an Instagram of a picture of a record, an audio snippet, write a little bit about it there, and then I collect them all at the end of each week and write a little bit more about each individual one. And then I usually post it at the beginning of each week. So this week, due to having a barbecue this weekend, it's good. It's going to be a little late, but it's going to happen. So look for that. Corey, take us home.
Well, you can find me at CoreyandHD86 on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Nintendo Power Block, our Nintendo show. We finally finished up Nindy Showcase, which is our Nindy's Let's Play show during the summer. Just kind of like a seasonal thing we did. So hopefully you go check that out. Our Pod and Play Season 3 starts on September 1st, kicking off with Darksiders, speaking of games that might be missed. So hopefully you'll check that out. Check out our other shows, Arsenal X, Royale with Cheese, Platinum Plays, all that good stuff. We are going to start doing some Nintendo stuff again shortly, some Let's Plays similar to Platinum Plays, but it's a Nintendo themed one, so hopefully you guys will check that out. And yeah, like, subscribe, and share. youtube.com/ngrradio, ngrradio.com. I think that's about it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and until next week, we love you.
Yeah.
Banana and out.
You're welcome.
Woo!
Woo!